So, you want a pet praying mantis, or you just stumbled upon this video, but you need to know where to start. Here's how I raise a praying mantis. The bare minimum is not ever going to be enough. Let's start with what species would be best for you as a beginner. This video will only cover beginner species. I may talk about other species in this video, but none of the care information I am giving is for anything beyond these three very similar and very hardy species. The top three easiest praying mantises to raise and find in general are going to be the Chinese mantis, the giant Asian mantis, and the ghost mantis. We're going to start with the enclosure. Most people will make something like this, the bare minimum. A praying mantis needs a minimum tank of 3 times their height and 2 times their length. But fuck that. Make something bigger. It could be anything. The only reason that people make a smaller enclosure is so the mantis can find their food. If you're getting a pet, you should be making sure it eats. You can hand your mantis the food. You can push it towards the mantis, or you can watch it until you know it gets the food. The size requirements are for molting, and so they can find their meals. It does need to be bigger than those size requirements, no smaller. But if you watch what they eat, you can build whatever you want. If you don't want to watch it eat anytime, you can do that size range. Just make sure you're not putting shitty stuff in there like a stick and paper towels. People will tell you to do that, but it's not good. Make something slightly bigger than the requirement. Would you want to live in a bathroom with a small kitchen in it? No. Here's a few examples of some of the containers I've built. A mantis enclosure is going to vary in size depending on the age of mantis, unless you want to keep a close eye on it its whole life. Most of the time, when it's a nymph, you normally, between first being hatched and L3, you'll keep it in something like this. It gets a little bigger, you move it up, and it becomes an adult, and you move it up again. You could do what I do, and you could just put it in a well-made enclosure, and then watch it, make sure it eats, and keep the right humidity. You're not going to lose your pet. It's pretty hard to do. They do camouflage, but again, if you're getting a pet, you need to watch it like any other animal. To build an enclosure, you should start by getting something of the appropriate size. If it's a smaller mantis, a slightly smaller enclosure. A bigger one, a large enclosure. First, you're going to add a drainage layer. I like to use aquarium foam or aquarium sponge because nothing can penetrate it, and it's going to be very good for absorbing moisture. You can also use different types of clay balls, rocks, sand if you really want to, and then put some type of mesh between that and the substrate. There are many different types of substrate. You can make your own. I like to just use Reptisoil and mix that with sphagnum moss along with orchid bark. Pretty easy. You don't need a detailed background or live plants, but I do like to add them. I like to build up a background either using these foam inserts or my new preferred method of using aquarium-grade silicone and aquarium expanding foam to carve my own background, and then covering that in dirt and plants. I have tutorials on that, but again, it's not necessary, so I won't go into detail for this video. After you've made your substrate and drainage layer, you're going to want a hardscape. Stuff for the mantis to climb around on, hang on, hide in. Something that they won't get stuck in, but they can hide from you so they're not out in the open 24/7. They do need to have some privacy so they won't develop certain conditions like eye rub. The number one rule of keeping a mantis is no matter what, the top of the tank should have some sort of mesh. Window screen is my preferred, but you can use other soft mesh. Anything would work as long as it's not metal. Metal mesh will destroy the mantis' feet and hurt them over time. The mantis will spend most of its life upside down, hanging, and needs a good grip in order to molt and do those things. The metal mesh will hurt them. Speaking of molting, let's get into temperature and humidity requirements for these basic mantises. All of them have the same requirement of a tank temperature ranging from 65 to 80 degrees. The lowest you can have this tank is at night at 60 degrees. I will mostly keep them at 75 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be very comfortable for them. It's going to be, basically, if you are comfortable in the room, they are comfortable in the room. If your house gets below 60 degrees in winter, then you should have a heat mat. I do not recommend a heat lamp. You will cook your mantis. And if it's going to get hotter than 80 degrees, or more like if it gets hotter than, I say 87, 85 to be safe, depends on your species, but these beginner species, again, if you're comfortable, they're comfortable. So if it gets hotter than 85, you should be trying to cool down the tank. You can insulate it a little better, you can use a fan, blowing on it, or you can just air condition your room that the mantis is in. Humidity can be a challenge, but you gotta keep it between 60 and 80% for these species. Misting it daily should be perfect, making sure the mantis gets enough water and has enough humidity in the air to molt. It's extremely important for a mantis to be able to molt and grow properly, or they will die. Mismolts are common and tragic, but you can avoid them. So far, I've been raising mantises for 3 years, and I have not had a single mismolt. Please be careful and do your research. Let's get into mantis feeding requirements. Or actually, first, water. Misting your mantis enclosure once a day should be perfect. If it's hotter, do it twice a day. Make sure some of the water gets on the mantis so it can clean itself off and drink it. They'll groom like cats. If you notice your mantis is going at the water very quickly, maybe consider misting it more often or spray it. Please do not leave a water bowl in the enclosure, especially for young mantises. They can drown very easily. Your mantis should eat something about the size of its abdomen a few times a week, or whenever their abdomen flattens. Here's an example. Baby mantises, I like to feed fruit flies. It's something small, it'll be really easy, and you can just dump a few in the enclosure as long as they can't get out. Just make sure it eats a few of them. As they age, I like to up to bottle flies or different types of worms, waxworms, mealworms, only as a treat because they are fatty. You can feed anything like that. I eventually start feeding dubia roaches and beetles. It's gross, but you should destroy the head of a beetle first because they do tend to fight back. Please do not feed your mantis crickets or wild-caught anything. Crickets are closely related to mantises and can carry, and most of the time do carry, harmful parasites that will infect your mantis. Wild-caught animals, you have no clue where that's been or what it's been in contact with, and it is a very surefire way to get your mantis in contact with pesticides. A very, very painful and scary death to witness. Just stick to the basics. Fruit flies, bottle flies. If you want to feed roaches and stuff, little treats here and there. You can also give them a little bit of honey on a stick, some type of toothpick, and they'll really like that as a treat. It's very easy to tell when your mantis is hungry, but I would feed it when it's young, every other day or every 3 days. It'll look hungry when it's hungry, it'll search for food, but most importantly, its abdomen will flatten. When it becomes an adult, most of the time their abdomen will not flatten as much anymore. You can still tell when they're full, but it is not going to become as flat as when they were a nymph. They have more organs now. When they're adult, I feed them 2 to 3 times a week of a meal the size of their abdomen or about that. Whether that be, I give them 3 or 4 bottle flies, I give them a medium to large dubia roach, or I feed them a bunch of something smaller. Whatever's going to work as long as they are feeding enough. Their lifespan is not the longest of any pet. Ghost mantises live, from what I remember, 8 to 12 months. Mine lived 14. You can get extensions. My Asian mantises, one of them lived 14 months. The other one lived almost 20 months. Normally they live 12 to 18 months, males shorter. Right now I'm raising a Chinese mantis. He's been doing great. He's a baby right now. You've probably seen clips from him throughout this, and I also have a Timor shield mantis. One I will talk about in a separate video because she has a much different humidity and heat requirement compared to my other babies, my other bugs. This was just the basics. If you want to get a pet of any kind, you need to do the proper research. This is a good starter, a good thing to get general information, to write down what you might need, and to see visuals. I think the strongest point is seeing visuals of what you'll need or what it's like. As my final point, handling. Mantises, depending on the species, can be pretty easy to handle. I normally start out when they're young, and I will hold them. It gets you used to as they age. It gets you used to holding them as they age. Mantises can get very large, and that can put people off. But if you're in the hobby and you like invertebrates, you probably won't have an issue with this. My biggest mantis was about the size of my hand. My smallest one was maybe the size of my thumb, and all of them were lovely and very nice to hold. Mantises, when they become adults, can fly. Babies can jump. Most female mantises can't fly or won't, but males do sometimes. It's just something that you gotta get used to or deal with. You can train them. This is a side note. You can train them. I have it. There's videos of this. This is a topic I very much like. If you have any questions, comment them down below. I will answer whatever I can or send you some information or a website where you can get the answer for yourself. Thank you all for watching. I am the Moleville Mantis, and this has been a basic care guide on the praying mantis.